Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm just posting that I'm doing a live, so I've just posted it to Instagram. I think it's a fairly important topic and something that I've been witnessing, and I've actually been very concerned about this topic. So, welcome if you're watching on replay. Thanks for joining me today. Today's topic is the very, very dark and dangerous world of becoming an influencer. Really, really important conversation, I think. And I hope I've allowed comments. I think I have. We'll see. If somebody wants to comment, that would be great before we get going, and then I'll try and look at the side to see if there you go. Hi, got a comment. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, it's a great day. So if you've never joined this channel before, my last name is a difficult one. It's Bajerski, spelt with a J, not with a Y, and that comes from my father, who was Polish, and my mother was Italian. So here in Spain, where I am, I'm known as the sandwich mixto. So yeah, I've been a healer since I was 38 years old. I'm now 58. 58, bloody hell. A pinch of skin. Oh, it's still going down fast. Oh, the age thing. It's such a cliche. Do you realize that age is just a number, and how you feel is how old you are, and your body actually reacts to that. So if you feel old, your body will say, oh, I'm old, start to get old. So feel young. So yeah, welcome everybody. This topic of conversation is always a heavy one in my heart. It really is soul destroying, and my credentials aren't PhD or a natural doctor or anything like that. I'm just a guy who was in a room and practiced the art of energy, to understand energy, to feel energy, and to understand what energy meant to the physical body, the emotional, as well as the spiritual. And all three are very important, especially when it comes down to trying to figure out what's happening in the unbalance, the body not functioning as it should do, and the mind not working correctly. It's not balanced. It's not, it's not finding ways of correcting the physical, the mental, and the emotional. When you start to slip, you fall down, and it's like a rolling stone, and it's gathering plenty of moss, and it snowballs out of control, to the point where the brain is so overloaded, it has no tools to help you whatsoever. It cannot see the future, although it tries to tell you it does. It tries to fool you into knowing everything. That's your brain. Your brain is your greatest battle. Absolutely. So yeah, I saw this in clients, thousands of clients. I saw it in young girls, teenagers, even younger teenagers. And, back in my day, 20 years ago, they weren't really influencers in that sense. They were showgirls, or girls who wanted to become famous, figuring out how they could become famous. So many young girls came and wanted to know what their path was, what their dreams, tell me, what should I do? Like, I have no idea what you should do, but let's just have a look and see, and I used to also read people. So that in itself is difficult for people to understand, but trying to pull out the best within you and show you your qualities and gifts, but also put you on a beautiful path of spiritual enlightenment, awakening. And that means bringing some kind of tools into your life, words which carried great weight when things became difficult. So I did that over a number of years, and I'm here now, and I want to share that with you. And I want to share something that is attached to all these, C-listers at the time, B-listers, and sometimes A-listers. And I noticed something that these, let's say, wannabe Hollywood or wannabe England or Canada or American wannabe stars, they wanted to be famous. Same as influencers now. What did I notice? What did I recognize within this? I recognized certain people were up for it, and they were a different makeup than many of the people that I saw, and thought it's going to be a little bit difficult because you're super sensitive, and you're not really prepared for failure. You're not. You actually think that failure is going to lead you down a very bad path, and some people saw failure as, oh, get back up again and try again. And so a lot of people were different in energy, within spirit as well. There were some downright horrible people that, funny enough, did really well. Strangely enough, didn't care, didn't give a shit, would do anything. They did quite well, I noticed. Isn't that funny? Strange. But there wasn't really a phone stuck to their hand back then, but there was, interviews, many interviews for, roles, and questions which were asked of me about their future and how they could get to where they wanted to be. And all the time, I used to try and help them with the spiritual side rather than trying to help them with the fame side. And so that's kind of like my background, to be able to, help you and try to share with you what I now see and understand very clearly. There is definitely a connection between those that want fame and fortune to the new influencers that want fame and fortune. But there is a massive difference now. And I've noticed that difference is not being talked about at all. There is nobody really there to mention it, and I'm sure you guys can see it. I'm sure you can see there's an epidemic right now of influencers jumping onto this bandwagon because, hey, AI says, come on, we can make you millionaires, we can make you famous. I mean, in actual fact, that's not the truth at all. And in fact, that's just the pull. That's the pull to get you onto the dark screen, the black screen. And I've noticed over these past 5 years especially that there's a feeling that I have when I see influencers on the screen now, and it's not a good feeling. It's not good. It doesn't feel good. It feels there's a certain kind of vulnerability that I feel. It isn't about whether they come across beautiful. It isn't whether they come across confident. There's something missing. There's something dangerous happening. So if you were to say to me now, if I was a full-time reader again and healer, and you were a mother of a daughter at 17, and you said to me, my daughter wants to be an influencer, I'll give you 10 guesses what I would say. And you'd probably be right. That's right. I would say, please try and help your daughter from staying as far away as possible from being an influencer. And, people talk about having receipts. I have receipts. I can bring them to you now. And I can tell you stories that'll break your heart. And I don't want to. I don't want to share them stories. They're all true stories. But yeah, what can I say? Where do you want to start, Mark? So the world of AI is an invisible world. It's first of all an illusion. And depending on how your daughter or son sees that illusion, they will put that illusion into the black screen, and they will make that illusion become real. So in their world, this black screen will become their world. What happens from there is 9 times out of 10, they become more and more obsessed with the black screen. They become more and more involved, like a relationship. And like many of you know, you'll probably remember you had friends, you had best of friends, and then all of a sudden your friend met a girl or met a boy and then thought we were friends. They've gone. They've left. They don't even talk to me anymore. Yeah. So that's kind of like, okay, well, they've fallen in love and good luck to them. And there's 2 of them, and they're working it, they're loving their life, they love each other, and good luck to them. And you know, hey, well, that's commitment, right? The thing is, being committed to the opposite sex or the same sex, whichever you prefer, is a commitment to the spirit of the person that you're with. And 2 spirits who come together and start to, you know, procreate, or whatever you do, go on holidays together, open a business together, do things together. You've got 2 people, and they've both got spirits, and hopefully they're both good spirits from our spirit world, and they create and they make babies or whatever they want to do, doesn't matter, but they're together, they're 2 people, and they're living this earthly life that I think is beautiful. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's gorgeous. That's gone now. Nobody seems to see that anymore. And the reason why nobody sees it is because of this. What happens is that your son or your daughter, as soon as they start this, come to us, we can show you how to get 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, 1 million followers, right? This is a frequency and energy which is a manipulation. For starters, they're going to try and take your money or offer you, you know, incentives and so on. You know, it isn't genuine. It's ingenuous. It's dark, and it's very much demonic when you start to go down the rabbit hole. So all of a sudden, your friend is no longer your friend anymore. They've gone, but at least they're with somebody and they found somebody, and like, well, that's beautiful. They're making a commitment to each other, and that's fine. It's great. But when you start to see the same thing happen, but with no other human being, no other contact at all, only a black screen with invisible people on there that you think are friends, that you know nothing about, and there's no energy in here at all of love, even though you're seeing thumbs up and nice messages and stuff. That is unfortunately not a relationship, and it isn't a relationship. So first of all, you're fooled by the energy of the AI believing that you now have a relationship. What turns out to be one person that we should have a relationship, now all of a sudden there is a change of energy, change of frequency, and change of mind thoughts. Now all of a sudden it isn't one person that we want. And that's all by design. You see, they are trying their best to kidnap our children's minds. And how they do that is that 1 is irrelevant. 10,000, 50,000, 1 million is relevant. That's the only thing that's relevant. Therefore, you've changed your child's perception from being with one person. And that one person, if your child does happen to meet somebody, their thoughts, their feelings of the person that they're with will be equal to the black screen, which means one comment of positivity and lovely is now not enough. Because yesterday I had 20 and I've only one now. So this frequency, the black, dark, and very demonic screen, is manipulating your child. And that manipulation is a frequency and energy that healers call addiction. Addiction energy is not, it's a frequency. And the black screen knows how to get you addicted to likes, to unlikes. So the addiction is equally as strong. If they see a bad comment, it will rip them apart, tear them apart. So what you've got now is the black screen has hijacked your child. Back in the days, I don't know if you remember, if you've ever heard of this. Well, if you were in Mexico, you probably did. But if you were very wealthy, the cartel would kidnap your daughter, and they would keep them in a certain place for a length of time. But what they would do is the child, or the 18 or 20-year-old, would start to have feelings for the captor. And this was all by design. And eventually they would brainwash their child to hate their parents and love the person that captured them. This is a true fact. This is on like a psychology brain set. They twist and manipulate them. So the child doesn't want to go back to their parents, but has fallen in love with the person that's captured them. Well, if you times that energy by 1,000, that is what this black screen is doing to your child. So your child as an influencer now is distancing themselves from anything that isn't important, that isn't part of the drug, the daily drug that they need. And their daily drug is likes and comments. Doesn't matter if it's a bad comment, but that is extremely dangerous, and that comes later. That becomes a lot later. The influence more is that the child is fully focused on the likes, and before you know it, your child, the influencer, is becoming like, we call it cold turkey. I don't know what you call it, the younger generation, if you're watching, but cold turkey is that if you've been taking drugs for so long and I put you in a room and say you're not having any drugs, you're going to start feeling really bad. You're going to start wanting your drugs. And this is what we call cold turkey. And the reason why is because you start shaking like this and you feel cold. And these are symptoms of the body screaming and wanting the drugs. So this very same symptom, cold turkey, but a lot worse, is in this screen. And what's happening is that the cold turkey starts to come when you're not receiving your hit or your likes or more followers. And what's happening is your mind is convincing itself, because that's all it sees, the illusion. It's seeing and it's focused on what's called algorithms, or how many posts you're doing. And you're starting to see now that your child is becoming a little bit anxious. And like, at start they were, smiling photos, this, but now it's almost like they're feeding this habit, which is now no longer a habit per se. It's basically an addiction. And we have to separate that from, I'm talking about influencers who are fully addicted to this very dark world of influencers. They feel that they are, there is a lot of ego attached to this as well. And there's a lot of fear attached to this as well. So you've got a double whammy of the worst energies that will totally throw your child all over the place. And please understand this. They do not have the tools to navigate through this. So there may be some point that you're going to find if your child is an influencer, and please God, this is how it feels to me. I always say this: if there was ever a young child who goes into a gambling casino and puts money into a slot machine and pulls that handle down and it goes bar, 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 or 10, 10, 10, and then you win £500, that to me is the worst thing that could happen to a child. So what I'm seeing is the same effect. I'm seeing children becoming like their videos gone viral. That's probably the worst thing that could happen, because from there on they chase that. Their brain measures that as success, and from then on it becomes downhill. It becomes almost impossible to help that child. So please God, your child doesn't get a viral video straight away. May take months, and so that they please God, get fed up and bored and walk away from it. Please God, may they lose all their money on the slot machine and not win anything, so they realize that this is not what they want. But unfortunately, whatever this black screen is, whatever the frequency is, they're up against a frequency that is so dark. And I'm not talking, I don't really want to start talking about how dark it is, okay? I don't want to talk about how dark it is, but when I say to you guys, it's not just a frequency, and we are in a spiritual battle, and this is demonic. And I could speak for hours about that, but it's not important. What's important is that we have to understand that wholeheartedly, hand on heart, there comes a point when your child is an influencer that they will have no communication skills whatsoever with partners. If they do, their partner will have to be involved in their entire life, their world. So the partner will have to do exactly what your child, the influencer, wants. There will be no balance. There will be no partnership per se. It will be how that partner can help them in the best photos, or, makes them feel better when they're feeling sad, when they don't have as many likes that day. You've got to understand that we will laugh about likes, but likes to an influencer is like how much money you've got in your account. And you being a mother and father, you've got to be aware of this, that what you see is important and relevant. Your child sees this is their life. This is what's important, nothing else. So we have to embrace this, and we need to talk about it. We need to understand that the black screen is now causing our children to become unbalanced. And eventually what's going to happen if we don't stop this is that we're going to have a generation of children that, in my humble opinion, will be rendered nil, zero, basically useless, nil and void, as what the dark system wants. They want to render our children robots. But the sad thing is that there is also, I believe, and I feel this in the ether, that this isn't just about a black screen and about your child becoming an influencer. I feel that there is a darker hand at play, that this is almost like a psyop, like 1970s with the hippies and all the drugs that they were taking, that was a psyop. So this is a psyop. This is the world stage, whether you believe it's government system or dark military industrial complex, all trying to figure out how to create the perfect dummy, the perfect nil and void body suit that will follow and just do what they're told to do. And I feel wholeheartedly that at any given moment, the black screen could, the black screen is the dark mentor, and it's mentoring everybody. It's not there, you can't see the mentor, but the mentor is making all of these things happen for your child and creating these scenarios to change your child's thoughts, to change your child's life, understanding of humanity, understanding of kindness, love, caring, sharing. It's creating selfishness. It's creating me. It's creating ego, which is so big. It's creating a child that has no tools to be able to function properly in this world. The child has no understanding of what to do when things go wrong, all by design. There is nothing there to help your child in any way when things start to go wrong, and inevitably they will. They will start to go wrong. Things won't be as they used to be. They change, and as they change, and your child, your teenager, your 25-year-old will start to lose the plot in a world where you won't be able to connect with them anymore. There will be no connection whatsoever. You will be so far apart from your child that you won't even be able to connect in any way. Talking to them, trying to make them understand, trying to make them see the truth. They only see the black screen. This is the only truth they see. This is the only life they know. This is their life, their reality. This is every breathing moment that they live. When they're asleep, their mind is still functioning on this frequency. When they wake up, the first thing they do is pick their phone up to see what this is telling them, what it wants them to know. They are fully embraced in the frequency and energy that kicks out of these black screens. And I believe that many influencers do not have the strength to stop. I remember my dad used to smoke. I know it's offshoot, but there's something in this. My dad used to smoke, and he used to sometimes smoke cigars, and then he'd stop, right? He'd stop smoking for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and then he'd start smoking again. There's people who can't stop smoking. There's a few people who have what's called willpower and strength to know that this is no good and I don't want it anymore. Keep it away. And some people don't know that. So just be aware of that, okay? Be aware. If your child has low willpower, you want to be switching this off, guys. You want to be talking to your child. You want to be trying to help them move in a direction that is not this. So your influence has to be, let's try and help your child find a path, find some kind of new belief in something else without the phone. So I know it's going to be hard and it's going to be difficult, but maybe you can try. Because if not, if you can't do this, if you can't get your child away from the kidnapper and the child wants to stay with the kidnapper, ultimately we're going to start to see more and more children, teenagers, 20-year-olds, 19, 25, 30-year-olds. I think we're going to start to see terrible amounts of sad stories, that there comes a point where that child, that teenager, that influencer who has all the fame and all the, the likes, and everybody thinks that they're happy and joyful, decided not to, walk to a beach and just walk into the water and not walk out, or into a field or a forest or somewhere, and just take their life. I think we're going to see this more and 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 more. And I say that deep in my heart. I feel so much pain, because what I can see happening is that the dark influence and the influence of these so-called owners of these huge apps, Instagram, Facebook, all of these TikToks, it's all done by the worst cabal, the worst criminals, that have the devious mindset of tricking, finding tricks and ways and frequencies and energies that will manipulate and make you addicted, find ways of apps that make you excited and pull you in, like the gambling apps, and then so that they've got you. It's all psychology, it's all trickery, it's all hypnosis, but it also comes with what I believe very, very dark spirits that are influencing your child at the same time. So that's not that important. It is, but it's not that important, because you might just go off now and say, now you're out of my, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I get it. You won't understand it unless you work in the realms of spirit, unless you've seen it and you've acknowledged it and realized, wow, there can be some very dark energy that runs through the AI, and it does. And it's influencing your kids, influencing them to do things that they would not normally do. And yes, forever, younger generations take drugs, but I'm talking about taking you down a very dark place where it's hard to come back. It's really a horror story. This one day in 100 years will be known as the horror story. This will be the horror of humanity. And you think, oh, you're doing this for clicks, Mark. You're doing this for, you're shocking people. No, I'm not shocking anybody. I'm telling you what I see as a healer. I'm telling you what I see when I help influencers. Most days I help many influencers. And let me tell you, what I see, what I hear, and it could be your daughter, it could be your son. It's really frightening. It's frightening to think that they are super alone. They are super influenced. They are super depressed. Super depressed. They are lost beyond anything you can imagine. What they are doing is following a frequency, a dark frequency, an energy. They are addicted. All they know is the black screen. All they know is to take a photo, to write a short, but everybody to love them. All they know is that what is important in their life is more likes. How many followers did they get today? If they've got less followers because somebody said something negative, then they're almost suicidal and they want to kill themselves. They don't want to be here. That's how fragile your child will become when they become influencers. It is a slippery slope. There is no happy ending to this. I'm sorry, there isn't. And what I see is a child becoming more immersed in darkness. I see a child more. When I see the eyes of an influencer, I see that there is an empty pool. There's nothing there. It's empty. It's a glaze. It's also a mask, and it feels so wrong. And there are very few, like I said, those that make a viral, and it's a beautiful viral, and you laugh and you think it's beautiful and what they've said is amazing. I actually feel really sorry for that person, because if they've not got the strength and understanding of what this black screen and this illusion and what it's doing to us and what it's trying to do to us, if you've not got the strength, if you've not got the tools, then you won't be able to get over it. And you will be living in the energy of that black screen, which means that you can be manipulated at any given moment. So I just wanted to put that out there. I wanted to get this ball rolling, and I wanted people to start talking about it, because nobody's talking about it. But what I feel like this, there is no oversight. There's nobody looking at this. There's nobody talking about it. There's nobody talking about it. So it's like the computer has a free run. It can do what it wants. It can go what it wants. People can do the worst things, and nobody can stop it. And yes, that's okay. Let people do the worst thing. But this black screen is now the biggest mafia. It is the biggest, darkest, devious, dirty trickster energy in the world. It isn't love. It isn't kindness. You might see 0.01% of a lovely little video of a girl laughing, which is lovely, but most of it is behind that. So you've got 5% good hiding behind 95% evil. And that's where we are. And we are the only ones who can stop this. So if you're watching this now, and I don't like these new bullshit spiritual, where you are now is no coincidence. That's all being hijacked now. That's all hijacked. That's all bullshit. But what I'm saying is, if you're listening to this and you hear it a few more times, and please be more people out there saying it, then you might want to look at your daughter or your son and start to evaluate it, because you don't want to start going down the path of going to psychiatrists and psychologists. You really want to tackle it before it's too late. You don't want to be waking up one day saying, I should have done something about it, and I'll never see my daughter again because she went off, or my son went off and never came back again because they couldn't cope with life anymore because of this poison, evil thing. We need to start putting it into context. We need to start seeing it for what it is. Oh, it's lovely, Mark. You use it all the time. What are you talking about? Yeah, I do. And I have respect for it, and I understand it. And I know, just like I have respect for these, I have respect for these. I am only in the right place whenever I use them. If I'm feeling bad, you think I'm going to use these when I feel bad? No, I'm not, because I'm going to be influenced wrong. This should be only used when you're happy, not when you're down and upset, because it's going to pull you in, because darkness is attached to frequency and energy of this frequency, of this black demonic screen. Come on in. The lollipop man. Come on, children. Lollipops, come on. It's a deceiver. It's doing everything it can. If you stand back and look at it, you can see our children are not the same. Our children are changing. Look at generation to generation. They have no skills. The only skill they've got is what to do with this and how to, that's it, and how to do this. And then click. Again. Click. It's not good enough. Do it again. Click. if you see your child doing that, are you going to say that's normal? Do you think that's normal? Why, you know, I know you're going to say, look, I remember weddings, we all used to do this and get fed up, but there was joy. When when a photo were taken, there was joy. Not if it's 1,000 photos, but you know what I mean. But that's not normal. Looking at yourself for 20 minutes, looking at every picture of how beautiful you are, and that, oh, maybe that's not so good, so I'll delete that. What? This isn't like a Vogue magazine where you go for a photo shoot and then you go away and you see yourself in the magazine. This is frequency and energy and vibration, and it's not vibrating at the frequency that you think is healthy. It's not vibrating at healing. It's vibrating at a frequency which is called addiction. It's not energy which is love and healing. It's energy which is destroying your child. Have respect for the phone. Try to keep away from it as much as you can. Try to help your child find some kind of true meaning of life so they can wake up with the joy in their hearts, not with their eyes closed looking for their black screen. Well, you want them jumping up, feeling the brightest of energy to conquer that day and do something that is so beautiful, that makes a difference in this world. This is making no difference in the world but to feed demons. I'll leave it there. I wish you a lovely day. This was food for thought. Always tackling conversations that people hate me for and get angry with me. But you know what? It's okay. I love you all. You know, I'd love to be the father that helps you, you know, and not the father that's frightened of saying anything. You know, love you all. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao. Thanks for joining me.